wisdom. Just you, fratello mio.
Altair's skeleton inside his library. Wow. And a key. I guess he kept one more for whoever found his way here. One last message, then. Alright, then.
You have seen to my books.
Yes. Some we sent with the Polos. The rest will go with me to Alexandria.
Good. Very good.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Masyaf must be empty.
I see. This is not a library at all. It is a vault.
It must stay hidden, Darim. Far from eager hands. At least until it has passed on the secret it contains.
What secret?
Go, son. Go be with your family. And live well.
All that is good in me began with you, Father.
In much wisdom is much grief.
Man.
And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth
Altair is such a badass.
What does it tell you? What do you see?
Willingly locking himself in a vault like this to make sure the apple stays hidden?
But what happens to us, Altair? To our family? What does the apple say?
Wow, this man has balls of steel. He really does.
What brought them here? How long ago?
Get rid of that thing!
This is my duty, Maria.
Oh man.
If you are asked, say I sent the apple away. Tell them I sent it to Cyprus for Cipango, or that I dropped it into the sea. Tell them anything to keep men away from this place. This apple must not be found. Not until the time is right.
Sit a moment and rest. Deeper meaning than you might imagine. For now, Altair is tired after a lifetime as an assassin. It's time for old man Altair to sit down and die. Seriously, not only are we a badass assassin, but also Altair must be one of the very few assassins in the Order who has actually managed to die of old age, rather than killed in the line of duty or something, and you gotta respect him for that. It's not every assassin that's skilled enough to survive everything they go through, and live long enough to die of old age. And much as I didn't like him in the first Assassin's Creed, and he was kind of a bastard, this has done a lot to flesh out Altair's character, and you can tell that by the end of his lifetime, he was something special. And that is honestly one of my favorite things about Revelations, that they took the time to flesh out Altair's character and give you the chance to get to know him better. not end Ezio's story, but end Altair's. They didn't have to do that. They could have left well enough alone with Altair,
stay here.
but they didn't.
I have seen enough for one life. Desmond?
He's talking to me?
I heard your name once before, Desmond. A long time ago. And now it lingers in my mind, like an image from an old dream. I do not know where you are, or by what means you can hear me. But I know you are listening. I have lived my life.
Leaving our gear behind. Yeah.
Not knowing its purpose.
Looks like Altair.
But drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon.
Wow. Looks like Ezio really is hanging up his hidden blade
I am
now.
only a conduit for a message.
Retiring as an assassin. Wow.
Who are we who have been so
Given
blessed
everything we've done
share
so far,
stories like
I would
this?
not have expected
to
that.
speak across centuries? Maybe you will answer all the questions I have asked. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me? Ah, there you are. Good. A strange place, this nexus of time. I am not used to the calculations. That has always been Minerva's domain. I see you still have many questions. Who were we? What became of us? What do we desire of you? You will have your answers. Only listen, and I will tell you how. Both before the end and after, we sought to save the world. We built vaults within which to work, each dedicated to a different method of salvation. They were placed underground to avoid the war which raged above, and also as a precaution should we fail in our efforts. Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place. It was our duty, mine, Minerva's, and Juno's, to sort and sample all that was collected. We chose those solutions which held the most promise, and devoted ourselves to testing their merits. 6 we tried in succession, each more encouraging than the last, but none worked. And then the world ended. The earth shook for days, the fires burned for weeks, and when the ash had settled, less than 10,000 of your kind still lived, and far fewer of ours. But we carried on, together, to rebuild, to renew. Listen, you must go there, to the place where we labored and lost. Take my words, pass them from your head into your hands. That is how you will open the way. But be warned, much still remains in flux, and I do not know how things will end, either in my time or yours.
Wait, look, his vitals are stabilizing. Something's happening. He's moving.
Desmond, can you hear me? Son?
I know what we need to do.
Well, that was Assassin's Creed Revelations, everybody. Now, I'm not going to talk about the real-life stuff or the end-of-the-world plot. I'm just going to ignore those because I like the historical stuff and I don't particularly care for that. Yeah, as a continuation of Ezio's story, I really like this game. Yeah, really, I feel like it's criminally underrated in a lot of ways. Revelations is the cap-off point. Finishing this game, to me, it's like closing a really good book after finishing reading it for the last time. You can't help but think that it's such a wonderful story you got to read through, but at the same time, it's also such a shame that there won't be more of that same story. That's really the way I feel about Revelations, because Assassin's Creed Revelations, it's really what the Ezio story needed for a good conclusion, I feel. Brotherhood, well, it didn't exactly leave off on a cliffhanger. There was always the feeling at the end of, well, where does Ezio go from here? What's his story after Cesare? And all of that. And Revelations provides that. It lets you see Ezio's story of him learning to accept that the assassins and the world as a whole can keep on turning without him being actively a part of it. It's about Ezio learning to let go of what was his past and a major part of his life for 20 years. And I really feel like Ezio's story needed that. The Altair parts, though, those were also amazing. And I've expressed this throughout the Let's Play, but Altair, in the original Assassin's Creed, he was a terrible person. He was arrogant, he was an asshole, and nobody liked him. Revelations, though, it takes the time to flesh out his character. You get to know Altair a bit more. You get to see a bit about why he was the way he was, and how he moved on from the end of Assassin's Creed 1 and changed as a character, and it gives you a glimpse of just how amazing of not only an assassin, but a person Altair was. A skilled warrior and willing to adapt and change the whole 9 yards. It was just so great to see, even if it's just little touches. Not only the narrative, but the world building and everything. It's always been one of my favorite parts of Assassin's Creed that you could just casually meet famous historical figures, and it's just sort of like another day at the office, and I love that. But sadly, this is the wrap-up for Ezio's story. There's not going to be any more Ezio, and I'm kind of sad about that, because to this point, he is my favorite character in the entire series, though it's basically between him and Altair of what I've played, so that's not much of a competition. But next, we'll be moving on to Assassin's Creed 3, which is the first game in the series I've played on the channel so far, or it will be, that I've not actually finished, because I only got maybe halfway through Assassin's Creed 3, and then other things drew my mind. So it's going to be about 50% blind, or thereabouts. But that will come later. So finally, I just wanted to say one last time, thank you so much for watching this series. I really do appreciate the viewership, even if you only turned up for a little bit. Just thank you for watching, and if you did, thank you for subscribing. And I will see you again, whichever series of mine you decide to watch next. Thank you for your time, and I will see you for the next one. Take care, everybody. Take care.
Tour lady?
Yeah.
Watch the movie.